If a store existed that sold superpowers, what could you buy from the discount bin? Discount hub. I'm imagining this amazing superpower that used to be super cool, but is now hardly sold anymore. Automatically unscratch the surface of any old DVD or CD you touch, now with free set of DVDs. Cassettes always seem to be fully rewound when you want to use them. You can churn butter at 3x the normal speed and efficiency. I mean, you could use that skill set a very different way. You'd be the #1 massage parlor anywhere. You're much more mature than I am. The ability to create soft breezes at your will, or the ability to turn the chemoreceptors in your nose off, so you don't smell bad things. Both of those seem pretty great. Making a nice soft breeze on a warm day would be very nice. Japan would abuse the duck out of this. Bending over without making groaning noises. I have accepted my dad noises. Same. And I'm not even a dad. Just wait until you are. They'll get worse. Grateful I'll never be a dad then. Be immortal for 1 minute. Consumable. Perfect. It only takes 20 seconds to fall from the tallest building in the world. They didn't say invincible. Only immortal. You'll still be smashed to bits on landing. You'll just remain alive, even while in pieces for 40 seconds. Or 59 if you're very good at timings. That's a premium power. Guessing the amount of jelly beans in a container. This is way too strong to be in the discount bin. One time at a birthday party in elementary school there were 2 mason jars. One held jelly beans and the other held gummy bears. Us kids were to guess the number in each jar and we each got like 30 seconds to look. So I counted how many jelly beans were on the bottom of the jar and timesed it by the number tall. I had just learned this trick on Cybercase. Didn't have enough time to count the gummy bears, so I guessed the same number for both jelly beans and gummy bears because I wasn't creative enough to think of a second number. Turns out I was right for both jars. What luck. Now I get to keep both of them. But instead of getting to take both of them home to consume in a sugary haze, the birthday boy's parents gave the gummy bear jar to the second runner-up, who was so far off base it wasn't even funny. This is a serial killer origin story. In this thread, it's a supervillain origin story. Grow your hair as fast as you want. Time for a haircut. Might as well get my money's worth. Grows hair a mile long. Or mess with the barber and grow the other side of your head. You absolute monster. You can teleport anywhere but it's randomized. You'd probably end up in space every time. You'd probably end up in space every time. You'd probably end up in space every time. You'd end up in space the first time. 1 out of 1. 100% success. The ability to see through 3/4 drywall. To answer the question, it was only 3/4. Though I hear once that one sells out, the up to 3/4 is going into the bin next. Welcome to your new life as a top tier pest control specialist. They call him Bugsy. If you could use this ability to look 3/4 through animals you could call him goats. That's a stretch. Folding a fitted sheet perfectly. No, that's on premium section as well. Exactly. Anyone who has been in the military, police, etc. would take this one for sure. You can read minds, but anytime you do, you lose a memory. What if you forget that you can read minds? What if I forget that I was born? Do I delete my existence? Do you remember your own birth? You threw out his name? Heat vision. But it only gets hot enough to warm up your cafezo. This is now my highest rated comment. Reddit is weird lol. Could get a job as a barista. Sir. This coffee is cold oh really. Stares intensely at coffee. Lets out a huge fart out of concentration. Edit. Spelling. Yes. Let us out a huge fart. Chill a beer by holding it. No other freezing or cooling related powers. And it only works on beer. Edit. I said beer only, damn it, I'm not a god. I mean, what else would I use it for anyway? Nice nickname. 10% invisibility. You are just slightly transparent mood ring. Your skin changes color based on your mood and command. The power to have a single and do your bidding super hypochondria. Detect every microorganism on every surface all the time. Fart parade. Instead of being invisible, your farts come out as brightly colored gases. Allergy medusa. Anyone who looks at you will sneeze uncontrollably as long as they can see your Midas pudding. Every liquid you touch gets transformed into banana pudding sandwich since. Know exactly when and what kind of sandwich someone has most recently eaten. Cat facts. Infinite knowledge about the universe, but only topics about cat's megaphone. Your voice is permanently as loud as a jet engine. I think cat facts may be too powerful. I'd buy it. Which of my enemies owns a cat? Timmy. Where does that cat live? 123 Fake McFake Street. What time does it wake up tomorrow? 5 AM. What ways does it know in and out of the house? Good. If I succeed in my mission tomorrow, I will feed it extra fancy Frank's cat chow. What does it eat tomorrow? Mission is a go. You have subscribed to Cat Facts. Did you know cats can survive falls from great heights? To unsubscribe from Cat Facts, text back unsubscribe. The ability to automatically agree on where to eat with my spouse. That's some top shelf shit, man. He clearly swapped the stickers. No, it accidentally fell in the bargain bin. Nobody noticed until this lucky soul. It couldn't. This is one they keep locked in a glass case. The ability to manipulate glue. I think you're underestimating the amount of glue we use. This isn't far off from being Magneto. It's the ability to manipulate glue, not to sense glue. You'd still need to know whether or not glue is present to manipulate it. This is more like the guy from Misfits who could control milk. That guy killed a lot of people with his power, didn't he? Because he thought of creative uses for his crappy superpower. And then his downfall was assuming Curtis had any milk inside him that could be manipulated. He was also usually working with relatively large amounts of milk in extremely small spaces, egg blocking someone's airways with mozzarella. You're probably not going to be able to throw a house at someone with glue manipulation, just because one of the kitchen drawer handles is glued on. You can hold your breath an extra 20 seconds longer than most people. This would be an amazing way to become a river-based assassin. Grab people, drag them into the water, hold them in. Use your extra 20 seconds to return to the surface. Problem being the power is most people. Also, to avoid assassination, they could just not stand near a river. Land. Their greatest weakness. People that are going to be assassinated be like, it's over at us and I have the high ground. Invisibility, but every meter of movement makes you fart. This is an added bonus. Go invisible, run through a crowd, and watch the hilarity. It'll definitely be filmed for you too. How are you going to film an invisible person? Thermal camera. Invisibility, but only when no one is looking at you. Actually useful, as once you turn invisible you can stand in front of someone, and he'll still won't see you. They'd still be looking at you, as their gaze is towards you, which defines look injured it. I'm willing to die on this hill, as I have been for years. You can look in the direction of something, but still not look at the thing. I think to qualify for looking at something, your eyes need to focus on the object, which they can't do if you're invisible. Anyone who plays D&D knows this is the difference between perception and investigation. Being able to know last week's lottery numbers. I actually have this one. My grandma always knows the numbers that were picked at the lottery. Somehow she has yet to win once. When we first got the national lottery in the UK, my nan used to write down which numbers she thought would come up but never purchased a ticket. My mother put a stop to that pretty quick when she said, "What if your numbers come up?" Being able to float 1 inch, but you can't move around. Not needing a remote to change the volume, just the volume. You still need it for everything else. Turning your finger into a tiny vacuum to clean small crevices. Being able to tell what someone's emotion is, but you don't know why. Good reflexes. Bluetooth connection to your phone, so you can hear the music but no one else can, and you don't need headphones. A lot of thought went into this. You're telling me for a discounted price I can make a living as a professional Jesus impersonator? Maybe a David Blaine impersonator. Basically r/shit is superpowers. Scrolled too far to find this. My wholesome habit is to CTRL plus F my first thought at seeing a question and finding the person who mentioned it already to upvote them. D. Being able to spell. This answer is underrated. No rigged. Jump far enough in the future to skip those ads that roll at the front of a video. If you disassociate enough you can do that for free. The amazing ability to turn into a couch. Sloan? Technically, we only ever see him turn from a couch into a wizard. For all we know he'd been living as a couch. Sloan's natural form is a couch. He's only a wizard when other people are around to make them feel comfortable. So, he's an animagus with the ability to transform into a human. You can turn invisible, but you won't be able to see anything either. You can run super fast, but you slowly burn. Friction. You can fly, but the G-force and lack of oxygen always catch up to you. You can teleport, but every time you do, so a little bit of your body is left behind. I get Spider-Man like powers, but instead you're Cicada Man, etc. You get the idea. I suddenly have an indescribable urge to scream at trees. You can fly, but really slow. This is in all directions, but especially when flying upward. It'd still take that. Wouldn't really be a superpower, but man, you could really get some really cool views. Also, you have a tendency to bump into literally everything within a 5-foot radius while flying, and may one day fly so fast into a sailor's cranial goggles that you knock his head back and instantly die, splattering your guts on them. Source: Japanese cicada once committed seppuku using my dome piece. Telekinesis, but it only works when touching the object. What if an object is made of several small parts? For example, can I stop a laptop cooler if I'm touching the keyboard? No, it's supposed to be a play off of words, meaning that any item you lift would have no weight. The center of gravity is lifted from the item, making it weigh as much as it would on the moon, so it would be that the item you grab is just super light. It doesn't actually move any objects, it just hovers them. Isn't that just super strength? But with extra steps. I heard once that this is basically what Superman's strength is, since if he lifted a building with strength alone the building would snap in half. If he lifted a building with strength alone the building would snap in half. Nah, he'd just tear off the chunk he was grabbing from the rest of the building. Walk through walls, but fell through floors/ground. When you do run really fast, but you get tired over a normal distance, turn into any animal you want, but permanently. The walls one is easy. Just dolphin dive through, so you only touch the ground once you are through. The ability to see in the dark when you're in direct sunlight. Actually useful to peer into a dark cave standing just outside of it. Lol, I didn't think of that. I agree. Also great for looking into shadowed areas like under a mobile home, into a sewer, under bridges, and so on. The ability to sense if your fly's down. Now that's the top shelf. You can teleport, but only 3mm at a time. You can always fake a bad internet connection on a live televideo call. Depending on how fast he can do it, I could see this being awesome. Hey, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.